Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited that we're about to start this conversation. So please, if you can hear me, just put it in the comment that you can hear me loud and clear. If you can hear me, just put it in the comments that you can hear me so we can get this conversation going. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. This is Gift BestJnr. I am the managing partner at the Masterclass, and I'm so excited to have you on this call. Today, we are going to be unpacking some secrets that are going to be revolutionary for you, for everyone who is joining, because today we're going to be exploring one of the core parts of why Masterverse actually exists. So please, if you can hear me, just put it in the comment that I can hear you. Just put your name, where you're listening from, and then let's get the conversation rolling. Do not forget to share this link with someone, your contact, your WhatsApp status. Uh, let's get the conversation rolling and let's get as many people as we can on this call today. And I'm so excited. Today, we're going to be talking about some very important issues, right? I'm going to be sharing a little bit of stories and I'm going to be drawing some lessons from these stories. And we're just going to be using a couple of lessons that are quite vital, that I've experimented and that I've seen work in my life, and that I've seen a couple of people who are actually people that have gotten results in their life, that have been able to activate their personal geniuses, and that have been able to maximize certain levels of their potential. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And it's going to be a fantastic conversation. It's going to be an hour, and I'm just going to look at all of them. Now, we're supposed to have a part two of this section, which is supposed to be paid. Yeah, but today we're going to be having everything at once. We're not going to be having a part two. We're going to be having everything at once, and the replay is not going to be free because of the lessons that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about 5 ways that you can redesign your life from your history. We're going to be talking about 5 ways that you can redesign your life from your history. I'm going to share a little bit of story, and then we're also going to talk about how to become your best self. How to become your best self. How do you move from? Please put it in the comment that you can hear me. Let me be sure that you can hear me before I continue. Okay, thank you so much, Tabitha. Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much for joining in. Now, don't forget to share the link with everybody. And if at any point you stop hearing me, do not forget to tell me in the comment section, because it has happened before. So I don't want a situation where I lose you. Thank you so much. So like I was saying, today we're going to be talking about 5 specific ways that you can redesign your life, that you can recalibrate your life from its original design. And then we're going to be talking about how you can become your best self. And I'm going to be giving you 5 frameworks on how you can become your best self. It's actually 7, but I hope time permits us to talk about the 7. But I'm sure that we're going to be able to look at 5 of these frameworks. What are the important things that are responsible for the decisions that you make? We're going to be looking at them today. Now, one of the things that is most interesting about life, about people, about behavior, because I'm just a student of human behavioral pattern, right? A student of psychology, why people behave the way they do, why people buy the things they buy, why people behave, why people get into relationship with the people they get into a relationship with. What are the driving force that prompts you to make the decisions that you make? Now, I want to share something with you. For instance, when you get into a room that is filled with people, and you get into this room, and then people who are sitting in this is actually from an experiment that was done. You get into this room and you sit down, and then after a couple of minutes, all the people in that room stands up. They stand up, they bow their head, they sit down. After 5 minutes again, all the people in the room, they stand up, they bow their heads, they sit down. After 10 minutes, all the people in the room, they stand up, they bow their head, they sit down. Every single person in that room. Now, research has shown that if you stay in that room for about 20 minutes, by the time they are going to stand after the 20th minute that you've been in that room, by the time they are going to stand, to bow their heads, to sit down, every fundamental makeup in you is going to prompt you to stand up with these people, to bow your head, to sit down. It's the same reason when you get into a hall, you see people clapping. You might not know why people are clapping. You know, I saw a funny story of a guy who was sleeping in church, and then he just heard a very loud shout. Everybody was clapping. He opened his eyes and he just started clapping as well. Why? He did not know. Because internally, there is something called conformity bias that is in everybody that wants to make you to conform to the environment where you are in, to conform to the behaviors of the environment where you are in, to conform to the actions, to the psychology, to the pattern. You know, it's what we just come up to call generational, what some people come up to call generational cause. So you see somebody's father, he was a drunk. So for years, he was a drunk. And then you see the boy grow up to be a drunk. And then you want to explain these things spiritually and say, okay, it is a generational cause. That is why this guy is a drunk. Guys, can you please let me know you can see my video and it's not skipping, because I just got something interesting here. The video is moving properly. Just let me know. Is it moving properly? Okay. So this young boy grows up, starts drinking, and then everybody wants to do their research. They want to say, okay, this boy's father was a drunk. That is why this boy is a drunk. His father had issues. That is why this boy has issues. You know, they want to give a couple of reasons why his behavior, why his life is the way it is. But the truth is, without any spiritual implications, without any spiritual input, this boy is going to grow up conforming to the environment that he grew up in. He's going to grow up conforming to the environment. The girl is the same reason why the average girl is going to use a certain product at home. It's the same reason a certain girl would want to use mangi, the Knorr seasoning, because they grew up seeing their mother use that particular seasoning. Now they never got to ask questions, say, mommy, why do you use this? Why do you do this? Why do you have to fry the fish before you put it in the stew? Why do you have to do this before this happens? They might never get to ask their mother that question. Guys, let me know if my video is breaking so I will know if I need to switch the video. Just let me know in the comments. Is my video breaking or skipping? Just let me know in the comments, because I'm seeing a skip here. I'm not sure where that is coming from. Just let me know in the comments. Is the video skipping? Just type it is skipping. Let me know it is skipping, and then I'm going to switch my camera. Just let me know before we continue. And I'm going to be sharing some very interesting stuff. Some very interesting stuff that, okay, it is skipping. Guys, I'm going to change. Now it's going to affect the quality, but I need to be sure that it doesn't affect the connection. Okay, just hold on a moment. I'm going to pull this off, put it here. I'm going to take this off a bit. Okay, are we good? Is this better? Just let me know if this is better. Is it still skipping? Is it still skipping? It should not be skipping anymore. Just let me know if it's still skipping, and let me know. Is it skipping? Just put it in the comment. It is skipping. It is not skipping. Let me just know what so we can get on with the conversation better. Thank you so much. Yeah, when I had to improvise for the video, but I think we're gonna go with this. It's more important that you hear me than you see my handsome face and in my glory. Thank you, thank you. All right. So I was talking about behavioral patterns, right? So the girl grows up without asking the mother. You never sat down. For instance, you're listening to me right now. You're a lady and you cook. Ask yourself your favorite seasoning. Why do you use it? Your favorite seasoning, why do you use it? The favorite products that you use in your kitchen. Some even go as far as the kind of products they use for their personal care. So you never got to ask yourself, because you just grew up, saw everyone around you using that product, and then you just automatically assumed that that was the best product, or that was the product with the optimum performance for what you wanted it to be. It's the same reason you grow up thinking your religion is the best, thinking your religion is God's religion. It's the same reason you grow up with certain mentalities and you never grow into a different mentality. Why? Because your environment contributes significantly. I want you to write this down. I want you to write this down. Your environment, your background contributes significantly to who you are going to become in life. The moment you understand this, you change the trajectory of your life. The moment you understand that who you are, the names you were given, the state you were born in, the religion you were born in, the nationality you were born in, the tribe you were born in, the moment you understand that the makeup of your parents, the people who gave birth to you, your order in your family, the moment you understand that these things contribute significantly to the output that you have in life, then you can start working on the path of self-mastery. Because if you don't know you have a problem, if you don't know that there are factors responsible for your decision, you will never be able to confront these factors. There's a quote I'm going to share with you. This quote is by Lenny Henry. Lenny Henry. I'm going to put it in the comments. And this quote says that if you don't know your history, you can't know your future. If you don't know your history, look at this, guys. This is in the comments. If you don't know your history, you can't know your future. If you don't know your history, you are going to be put in control of the ghost of your past. Yes, I said that, and you can quote it anywhere and you can write that down. If you don't know your past, your history, you are going to be controlled by the ghosts of your past. So if you don't know the circumstances, why did your parents give you patience? Let's say patience is your name. Why did your parents give you patience? Let's say joy is your name. Why did your parents give you joy? Let's say gift is your name. Why did your parents give you gift? Let's say Tabitha, listening right now, is your name. Why did your parents give you Tabitha? If you don't know this, because you might want to say that, okay, this is why they gave this is why. No, that's not why. There was a situation, there was a condition, there was an environment, there was an energy that was responsible for that decision that they made at that particular point in time. And that is going to go on to redefine the life that you have, to redefine the future that you are going to live. Because, someone says something that when you were born with a nationality. You never choose your nationality. You're born with a name. You never choose your name. You were born with a religion. You never chose your religion. You were born into a family. You never chose your family. All these are decisions that were made on your behalf. Guys, these are decisions that were made on your behalf that go on to drive the result that you're going to have in life, that go on to drive the kind of future you're going to have, the kind of person you're going to marry. Imagine someone who grew up in a certain home, because research has shown that most ladies are going to end up marrying someone like their father. Mhm. Research has shown that you can Google all these things. The information is out there. Research has shown that most ladies are going to end up marrying a guy that behaves almost like their father. And the reason is not because they want to, the reason is because the nature of their father is going to give them the definition of what a man is. Yes, it's going to give them a definition. They never, for the first 5 years of your life, everything you know about manhood for a lady, everything you know about a man, about the behaviors of a man, about how a man should treat a woman, is the things that you learned from your father's behavior towards your mother. Guys, I'm going to be sharing some really deep stuff. And these things are out there. You can Google them. It is going to be formed by your perception of how your mother or your father treated your father. Your father treated your mother. So at the end of the day, if your father was a very good man, was loving, was perfect, was caring, was responsible, was taking care of the family, loved your mother, took care of your mother, always kissed your mother, always was conversing, gisting with your mother, you are going to take that as the definition of a perfect man. Because naturally you would come growing up from a happy home. So that is going to make you to accept the people who are going to come into your life that have that same behavior, because it's going to become your template. The things you see growing up, the life you see growing up, your environment gives you the template of life. And that is why it is difficult for you to be able to convince people of certain ideologies, certain beliefs that they have growing up, that it is faulty. Why? Because the first 10 years of your life, this was all they knew. This was all they knew. So what I want you to do right now is you're going to be checking your life, everything every decision you've made, ranging from the decision of who you were dating, ranging from the decision of your perception of who a perfect man, a perfect woman, a perfect girl, a perfect boy is, ranging from that to all the career you're going to choose. You know, for most people, the career choice that they choose in their life is defined by the kind of professionals. Guys, it is amazing. And this is a research that is out there that you can check. The profession they are going to choose is going to be defined by two things. Either the success of the people that they are surrounded with while they are growing up, or the failures of the people that they were surrounded with while they were growing up. So it is actually two ways. You are either driven by the positive part of your history or the negative part of your history. It is the reason why a lady can hate a guy who is behaving a certain way, because they grew up seeing their father or their brothers behaving that way. So it is going to form their perception. So even before they get to know this guy, pardon me that I'm using this illustration a lot, even before they get to know this person, they are going to already create a perception of this person in their life because of their environment. So guys, this is the base of everything that we are going to be talking about today. So 5 things that you must learn from your experience. Take your notes, write this down. 5 things you must learn from your experiences, from your future. 5 things you must learn from your experience, from your future, that drives the outcome that you have in life. 5 things. Number 1, your background significantly impacts the kind of future that you have. That's number 1. That's number 1. That's number 1. Number 2, I want to talk about number 2 quickly, so we can go into becoming your best self. And I'm going to give you the 7 frameworks, and we're going to call it tonight. Guys, hold on. Don't tune out. Number 2, you have to come to the position where you relearn everything you know while growing up. Yes. You have to come to a position When you relearn, I'm talking about relearning. There's something my mentor used to say about the schools of life. My mentor, John Obidi, always, in almost all his sessions, mentions the schools of life. There are two schools of life. Number one is the school of the rich. Number two is the school of the poor. The school of the rich, the school of the poor. Now, this has nothing to do with finances. This has nothing to do with money. First, primarily, it does not have anything to do with money. This has everything to do with the lessons that you were taught while growing up. It has everything to do about the lessons you were taught about life, the lessons you were taught. Okay, guys, just give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. I want to check something right now. Give me a moment, guys. Yes, fantastic. Thank you so much. So, where was I? What was I talking about? Guys, what was I talking about? What was I talking about? What was I talking about? This is a fantastic conversation we're having tonight. This is not something that you get to find everywhere. So where was I? Where was I? What was I? Where was I talking? What was I saying before? Where was I? Someone put it in the comments. Where was I? Just remind me, where was I? Which point was I talking about before? Okay, yes. Thank you so much, Chinenye. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much for mentioning that, because that is actually a critical part of our conversation tonight. Yes. So the school of life, yes, the school of the poor and the school of the rich. The school of the poor and the school of the rich. Now, this has nothing to do with money. This has nothing to do with the money, the amount of money your parents had, the amount of money they did not have. But this has everything to do with the kind of lessons that you were taught while growing up. The lessons you were taught about money, the lessons you were taught about politics, the lessons you were taught about life, the lessons you were taught about savings, the lessons you were taught about religion, the lessons you were taught about everything you know in life. Because the way the school of the rich, which is the school of the people who have the critical understanding of how the world works, the way the lessons are taught is different from the way the school of the poor, the people who are just trying to get by. So there are two parents. One, and this is why I'm going to recommend a book to you, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is a book that will explain this school to you. When you read that book, you will understand everything I'm trying to say right now. You have two parents. One teaches you that life is difficult. Life is hard. You have to make sure that you don't let anybody take advantage of you. You have to make sure that you don't agree for anybody. One parent teaches you this. Another parent teaches you that life is complicated. You need to learn how to build relationships. These are two different lessons in life that will go on to define the kind of result, your kind of ability to build network. So the parent who has taught you that life is difficult, if you let people in, they will take advantage of you, did not tell you that there are certain doors you cannot enter until someone in your network mentions your name. They didn't tell you that. They didn't tell you that. But the other parent who taught their child that life is complicated and life is a function of your network, that is a function of the people that you're able to have in your circle. The other parent who was taught his kid that has equipped them with an understanding of networking, understanding of leverage, understanding of using relationship to scale their advancement in life. So this other person is going to grow up in Lagos, going to grow up with Agboro mindset that don't let anybody, if you let people, they're going to use you. He's going to grow up with that. So when he gets to secondary school, he's not able to make real friends. He's able to manipulate people because he doesn't want to be taken advantage of. Why the other person who was taught that life is made up of connections, life is made up of network, he goes into school, he's looking for the most quality people in his school and how to build relationships with them that will go on to define the opportunities that he would have in life. Two different schools. That's number one. Another two parents, one teaches the child that, okay, you see, money is very important to save your money inside the colo. You grew up seeing your mother has advised you, told you, don't put your money into bank or investment. Put your money inside your colo where you can see it, you can get it when you need it. This is a lesson from a well-intending father to the child. But then there's another parent who sits the son down and teaches the son that money devalues over time. The only way to keep the value of your money is to keep reinvesting the money that you get. So right from primary school, right from secondary school, they've taught their child how to take money, put it into an opportunity, and allow that money to grow other forms of itself. Two different lessons. So when you understand that there are two different schools in life, it will help you to understand the school that you're coming from. Majority of the people who are listening to me now, chances are you're probably from the school that did not teach you the essential principles of how life functions, how people behave, human psychology, buying psychology, politics, law of demand, how things work, the principles of the economy. They didn't teach you that. So that is why it is critical for you as a grown adult to begin to relearn all the lessons that you were trained, you were born with. All the lessons. So you sit yourself down and you ask yourself, the way I'm behaving, my perception about money, my perception about relationship, my perception about God, my perception about people, my perception about politics, my perception about international relations, my perception about health. What are the foundations of this perception? When you ask yourself this question, you begin to learn how to relearn the lessons that you were born with. There are people that were raised with the mindset that every time you fall sick, paracetamol will cure the sickness. Yes. So whether they're having malaria, it's paracetamol. Whether they're having menstrual pain, it's paracetamol. Whether they're having stomach upset, it's paracetamol. Why? Because their mother, that was everything she used for everything. It was an all-purpose drug. But then there's a child who grew up knowing that, okay, if you have issues, you need to go for checkup. You need to make sure that you're checked before you take medicine. You need to see a professional. It creates a perception of how you handle your health. So you need to understand that every lesson that you learned while growing up is what brought you to the position, to the perception, and to the principles that you have that is governing your life. You have to understand that. You have to. And then when you understand that, you begin to ask yourself, how do the school of the rich, how do they see money? Do they see money as something to be kept, or do they see money as something to be invested? Do they see relationship as something to be leveraged, or do they see relationship as something to be used? Do they see politics as something to be put away, something to set off, something to use to get money from people? Or do they see politics as a means of driving policies in the country? These perceptions is why you need, as a grown-up adult, to learn how you can effectively redesign your life by relearning all the lessons that you learned while growing up. Why did you choose the profession that you chose? Ask yourself, why? When you finished secondary school and you were about to write your JAM, so your uncle came and said, oh, you need to study political science, you need to study engineering, you need to become a doctor, you need to go for law. Your uncle came. Your uncle was able to convince your father, said, it is law people that are making money now. Let her go and do law. Let her go and do political science. Let her go and do education so she can come out, become a teacher, become a professor. These things. You were not responsible for this decision. It was made on your behalf. So your parents decided alongside your uncle that it is engineering you need to study. So you went to school, spent 6 years studying a course that has no correlation with your personality, with your makeup. So this is why it is, I tell people that people struggle in school not because they are generally lazy or generally dull. Some people are fish that are put on a tree. Some people are fish that are put on a tree. Some people are fish that are put on a dry ground. Some people are land animals that are put inside the river. They cannot thrive because that is not their natural habitat. No matter how much you want them to thrive, no matter how much you equip them with the skills that they need to thrive, they cannot thrive because that is not their natural habitat. And as a creative, you have what is called your natural habitat. As a creative, as an individual, as a person, as a human, there is something called your natural habitat. So you were sent to school to study medicine. Meanwhile, your makeup, your personality, you were designed to be a salesperson. You were designed to be a counselor. You were designed to be a teacher. You were designed to fix stuff, not to fix human hearts. But then you spend 6 years, you spend 7 years studying this course, struggling to pass your grade, studying to find your expression in an habitation that is not your natural habitat. Every organism, listen, every organism will naturally thrive in their natural habitat. But when you begin to struggle, most times, of course, there are people who are just lazy, people who don't want to grow themselves, they don't want to maximize their potentials. There are those people. But every organism would naturally thrive in their natural habitation. So if you're struggling with what you're doing now, the question you should be asking yourself is this my natural habitation? Is this where I'm meant to be? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this where my potential is? Is this where my genius? Is this where it is? Because when you ask this question, you will come to understand why you would prefer to sit with somebody and talk for 4 hours and not prefer to go do that thing that you went to school for 7 years to do. So you must understand these things. You must relearn the principles that you learned while growing up. So I said number one is your background significantly impacts the kind of future that you would have. Number two, you have to relearn everything you know while growing up. You have to unpack your mind. You have to re-educate yourself. There's a story I wanted to tell you. You know, this is quite sensitive, of course, and that is why there's no replay for this, because this is, well, I don't know, but this is quite sensitive, right? I used to tell people that until I was about 13 years, yes, 13 years, I couldn't speak English. Until I was about 13 years, I didn't even get into a car. I grew up in an environment where we walked everywhere we needed to go. And the best you could do was to get a bike, motorcycle to convey you to your destination. And I tell people that as at 15, when I got to understand certain things, which was when I was in the secondary school, and I had to move out from my environment, I began to learn the basic principles of life, how to speak English, starting from there. And it was amazing that I learned so fast from books, from movies, from the people around me, studying people, being able to get information without asking questions, being able to learn from people's behavior, being able to ask even the right questions. Eventually, I had to re-educate myself in order to be able to become the person that can talk to you today. Because your potential, listen, your potential is not wrapped up in who you were. It is wrapped up in who you should become in order to be who you ought to be. Write it down. Your potential in life is not in who you were. Your potential is in who you should become in order to be who you were meant to be. An understanding of your past is critical, but an understanding of who you are right now in order to become the version of yourself that you need to be to maximize your potential. And all this comes from re-educating yourself, which means that there are courses you study that you need to go back to school, maybe online course, maybe take courses to re-educate yourself in your natural habitat. That's number two. Number three, I hope you're writing this down. Number three, you have to know and separate yourself from your past. Remember, we're talking about self-mastery, unlocking your personal genius. You have to know your past and separate yourself from your past. A knowledge of your past informs you of your present realities and your present conditions. But it is not sufficient to take you to your future self. It only equips you with the information that you need to become your future self. So you know that this happened to you in the past. The reason you can't save, the reason you can't stay in a healthy relationship for more than a year, the reason you can't stay in an environment with many people, you're not social. It's not because you're an introvert. Listen, we're going to get to that part of personalities, but most times, most people who are not outspoken, it's not because they are introvert. Some of these people faced harsh rebuke when they were kids that shut their voice down. So you were in primary school, nursery school, and you want to talk. The teacher tells you, keep quiet. You want to talk again, the teacher tells you, keep quiet. You want to talk again, the teacher tells you, keep quiet. It gets to a point, because you're a child, children learn from their environment. Everything they know, it's everything they learn from their environment. So because you were a child and you were taught to obey your elders, so you kept quiet. So at the end of the day, this keeping quiet collapsed your ability to be outspoken, your ability to be vocal with your ideas, your ability to communicate your opinion. It shut it up because you had a lesson in your past that did not allow you to express yourself. So while you are naturally an extrovert, while you're naturally a sanguine, we're going to get into that part, but you grow up becoming a very quiet person because of the lessons in your past that taught you to shut your voice, to keep quiet. So even at home, as a lady or as a guy, because guys, so most young men have these irresponsible behaviors. They grow up and in their home, the ladies are doing everything. The only thing they did was to go to the field to play football. Their mothers allowed them to go to the field, play football, come back home. They have their water gun, shooting boom, boom, boom everywhere. And then their sisters are always in the kitchen, cooking, doing all the whole house chores and everything. So this guy grows up thinking that all the responsibilities in the home is to be carried out by the lady. And they marry. And they want their wife to take care of the kids, to do the dishes, to do the cooking. Meanwhile, they do the same job with their wives, right? This is not a biased thing. This is just the way life works. Why? Not because they want to be naturally wicked or they want to be naturally inconsiderate to their partner, but because they grew up with a principle, a wrong perception and principle about how life works. They grew up thinking that the lady takes care of the house, the lady takes care of the kitchen, the lady takes care of the everything. So all they learned to do was to play football, watch movie, play soccer, do all the playing in the home, and of course they could get a job. Their only responsibility or understanding of responsibility as a man is to provide for the home. So the moment they bring money to the table, they assume that their responsibility is met. That is a wrong perception of how life works. And you need to relearn it. You need to detach yourself from your past in order to be able to become who you need to become in the present to step into the future. You can't step into your future with your history. That's number 3. Now I'm going to take this really fast so we move on. Number four, the world, remember we're talking about things you must learn. Number 4, the world does not care about your experiences and excuses, but you can make it care. Write it down. The world does not care about your experiences and your excuses, but you can make it care. And I'm going to show you 2 examples of this. 2 ladies abused as, I'm going to use practical life instances, so I'm not telling you theory. 2 ladies, one was abused sexually, or no, both of them were abused sexually while growing up. So one decides to allow those abuse, those behaviors or those experiences to define her life. So she starts living a wayward life with the excuse that she was abused. Of course, abuse is terrible, but it negatively impacts her life. That is one. And then there's another lady, because she was abused as a young girl, She grows up becoming an advocate for the girl child. That's number 2. Now, these two people have the same experiences, but one had a negative impact. Totally, it could be totally not because of their failure to adapt or use their experiences to drive their life. Because, of course, everybody has to come to the point where they needed external help to be able to turn around the things that define their growing up stage, right? But one had a negative impact of her future, of her experience on her life. Why the other one used the impact of her future, of her life, her experience to drive a message, to become an advocate. And this advocacy takes her to platforms like the UN, takes her to TED Talk, takes her all over the world because she's advocating for the right of the girl child. So why the world does not care for your experience? The world doesn't care if your parents were broke. They don't care. And I'm telling you this, they don't care until you make them care. And you only make them care when your story becomes interesting, because you go on to discover who you were meant to be independent of your past. Guys, I want you to write these things down. The world doesn't care about your experience. It doesn't care if you had a bad upbringing. It doesn't care if you had no support. It doesn't care if nobody paid your tuition fee. It doesn't care if nobody asked you about the things you needed as a young man, as a young boy, as a young girl. It doesn't care. But when you are able to turn these things around, the world begins to care. So you must learn. It's your responsibility to learn to turn the things that happen to you to your advantage. And it all starts from relearning life. From relearning life. Number 4, that's number 3. Number 1, number 4 now. Number 5. Which number are we in, guys? Please just put a comment that you're here. You're getting something here. Let me see your comment. You can share the link. You can take a screenshot, put it on Instagram, tag Masterverse, just to let people know that we're having an amazing session here. Guys, are you with me so far? Put it in the comment what you've learned so far, and just let me know what you've learned so far. Let me know in the comment what you've learned so far. Let me know in the comment. Joy, thank you so much. Joy says that the world doesn't care about your experience, but you can make them care. Yes, you can make them care. All right, number 5. We're going to move on to number 5 right now. Number 5, number 5, the life you want to live is possible, but you have to believe that it is possible. And I can tell you stories about this. I can share practical experience of this with you. The life you want to live, I don't know what your dreams are. This is not a motivational section, of course. I am not here to motivate you. As a matter of fact, if there's anything I want to do is to demotivate you with your current standings, right? So you can step into your future, because most people don't realize that motivation creates comfort, right? That doesn't allow you to be ruthless. So I'm not here to give you motivation. The life you want to live, this is not motivation, it's a principle of life. The life you want to live is possible, but you have to believe that it is possible. You have to believe it. You have to believe it. That's number 4. That's number 5. Number 6, you have to be ruthless with your future. And when I say ruthless, I don't mean the popular thing, no grief for anybody. No, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean, right? I'm talking about not making up excuses for your present condition. So I ask you, oh, why are you not building authority online? And you're going to tell me you don't have a good phone. You don't have a laptop. What kind of excuse is that? That's your excuse? You don't have a laptop. You don't have a phone to build authority with everything you know online. That's your excuse? You have to be ruthless with your future. You have to be ruthless to get your future. I'm here now because it's comfortable, but I'm here because this is what I want to do. You have to scale every obstacle. Life was not designed to give you what you want. Listen, life was not designed to give you what you want. It was designed to give you what you place a demand on, what you press in to get. And that is why two people can grow up in the same place. One becomes successful, one becomes very poor. One lives an insignificant life, one lives a significant life. Why? Because that one that lives a significant life puts a demand on life to give them what they want. So you must not allow excuse for the kind of future that you want to live. No excuse. So why have you not learned your skill? Why have you not upgraded your skill? Is it the reason I've not upgraded my skill is because I don't have a laptop, I don't have anybody to teach me. There are online courses. The reason I've not done this is because of this. The reason I've not everything I plan to do in 2023, I was not able to do it because of this, because of this, because of this. The reason I've not been able to speak in a conference is because I was not invited. What happens to you organizing your own conference? Invite yourself. Invite other people, come speak. You must understand that the things you want will not be given to you. You have to get them. Glory is not given. Glory, and when I'm talking about glory, I'm not talking about I'm talking about relevance. Relevance is not given. Nobody gives you relevance. You create your relevance. You create your relevance. That's number 6. Number 7, you must sacrifice who you are for who you need to be. You must sacrifice who you are for who you need to be. You must sacrifice your comfort for your future. You must sacrifice your laziness for your future. You must sacrifice your limitations for your future. You must sacrifice who you are for who you want to be. The person you want to be is who you should be fighting to become. Not trying to modify who you are. Say, oh yeah, I don't really know how to speak. I'm not a very public person. Yet, you want to be relevant. Speaking to people in conferences all over the world. Then you're saying, I'm shy. Shy? Shy? You think people who take the word, who become relevant globally are shy? You must be willing to sacrifice who you are for who you need to become. And then finally on this point is you must understand how the world works and redefine your existence. You must understand how the world works and redefine your existence. You must understand how the world works and redefine your existence. So that is all for that part. And we're going to go to part 2 and we're going to wrap this up. I want to talk about becoming your best self. This is a paid, what I want to share now is a paid masterclass lessons, but I'm going to be giving it to you for free today. Yeah. This is supposed to be in another class that we're supposed to do next week, week. There's supposed to be a paid class for 10,000, yes. But today I'm going to be sharing it with you for free. And that's why this replay, we're going to sell it. Masterverse is going to sell it. It's not going to be for free because of the things I want to share. So you have to make sure you're here to the end. Yeah. So first thing is becoming your best self. Key pillars for self-mastery. I'm going to talk about them. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The ninth one is I'm not going to talk about that because that is an entire webinar topic. So I'm going to talk about 8. 8. Awesome. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Are you ready for this special lessons? We're going to do this in 10-20 minutes and we're going to go out of this place. Whew. Becoming your best self. Key pillars for self-mastery. Number 1, write this down. Number 1, understand what your personality is. An understanding of your personality would inform you of your makeup, what you can do, what you cannot do, your strengths, your weaknesses, and you will learn where to amplify your effort. Understanding of your personality. Now, personality understanding or lessons or test is a critical part of self-mastery, self-understanding, unlocking your personal genius, personal sovereignty, understanding your personality. Now, there are several personality types that I can't mention here, but I'm going to provide you with the resources that would allow you to take a personality test. I'm going to put it in the Telegram group right now. I'm going to put it in the Telegram group right now. This is a platform that would allow you to take a personality test to understand who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses. If you're not in the Telegram group, that's the link to join the Telegram group so you can get the personality assessment link there. So you're going to do it after this class. I'm going to put it in the group. It's in the Telegram group now. So go to the you're going to go to the Telegram group after this call. Don't get off this call because I just mentioned one. I'm going to mention others. But you're going to go to the Telegram group. You're going to take that link. You're going to do a personality test, and you are going to be able to assess who you are, what you can do, your weaknesses, what profession, career path. You know, the first time I mentioned in a conference that not everybody can run a successful business. It was looking like I was making a huge claim. But that is the truth. Not everybody is wired to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody can run a successful business. Some people, their personality allows them to function effectively inside an organization. So but when they don't understand this, they get an idea, they run off, they want to open their own business, they want to run their own business, they put all their savings into that business. At the end of the day, the business crashes. Not because they didn't have the right principles, not because they didn't have the right lessons, but because they did not have the personality to run a business. So you must understand that your personality is what determines what your decision should be, what you should do, your career path, what your strengths are. Even when you take this personality test, it goes as far as telling you why your relationship is the way it is. That's number one. Number two is You must know the power your temperament wields over you. Most people have never heard the word temperament. So number one is personality. Number two is the power your temperament wields over you. I tell people most times that there are a lot of people I've seen miss out on critical opportunities because of their inability to master their temperament. Naturally, I'm what you call an introvert. I'm someone who naturally doesn't want to communicate with people. I want to be quiet. Is the reason why you can be calling my name several times. I'll just be looking at you because I'm someone who wants to be quiet, observe, learn, and all these things. But there's a place where you get to discover there's something called a modification of temperament, because the average person has primary and secondary, and most often their secondary temperament is so dormant that their primary temperament overshadows it until they learn how to reawaken or awaken their secondary temperament, which complements their primary temperament and gives them a balanced expression of who they are. Guys, are you getting this? So you must understand. I told a lady one time that if you don't know your temperament, it is easy for the person that knows your temperament to take advantage of you. There are 4 temperament parts. There is the sanguine, there's the melancholy, there's the choleric, there's the phlegmatic, and then there's other combinations of these 4. But those are the primary ones. If you don't know this, it's going to be difficult for you. One of the reasons most people, they set goals, they are not able to achieve these goals until, in short, they are not able to achieve this goal. But you see these same people, they get into a mentorship circle, their mentors give them tasks, give them goals to accomplish, and then they accomplish this goal. Why is it that they accomplish this goal when their mentor gives them this goal to accomplish, but they don't accomplish this goal when they want to do this on their own? Most of these people are not primary initiators. For instance, people that are phlegmatic, these are people that naturally needs to be pushed for their optimum expression to come out. Someone needs to be advising them, someone needs to be disciplining them, someone needs to be checking up on them, someone needs to be motivating them, someone needs to be reminding them, someone needs to be, serving as an anchor for them. But when you understand that this is your temperament, you understand that this is your primary, you understand this is your secondary, you understand this is the future you want, so you are able to redesign, re-engineer your temperament in a way that it favors your future. But most people don't want to have this conversation. Most people don't even know. Huge percentage of the people listening to me, if I ask you now, what is your temperament? You can't say. But these are the things that affect the product of your life, that affects the result of your life, that affects who you are, that affects who you become, that affects the result you have, that affects your ability to do the things that you said you want to do. So you must understand your temperament. I can recommend a book for you. There's a book by Why You Act the Way You Do. Forgotten the author of this book. If you know the author of that book, please put it in the comments. Why You Act the Way You Do. It's actually a 2-part book, so I would recommend you get the 2. There's one, Why You Act the Way You Do, and then there's another one that is called Spirit Control Temperament. Why You Act the Way You Do gives you the definitions, the characteristics, the examples, gives you people who have this kind of, it will literally show you why you are acting the way you do, why you can't seem to stop talking when you are with the people you love, why you just can't, why whenever you are in a room, you just want your voice to be heard, why you flare up, you think you have anger issues. Some people, it's not anger issues, it's your temperament. Yes, thank you so much, Tim Lahaye. Yes, Tim Lahaye, yes. Why You Act the Way You Do. This is a book you should read. But don't get this book in isolation. Get this book, get the Spirit Control Temperament, read both of them. You'll be able to understand why you are behaving the way you do, and the power that your temperament has over you. That's number 2. Number 3, you have to take controls of your triggers and languages. I've mentioned 3 critical things that you might not have heard before. I've mentioned personality. I've mentioned temperament. Now I'm mentioning triggers and languages. Triggers, languages. Triggers and languages. When we talk about triggers, we are talking about the things that get you to act in a certain way. There's a button I can come close to you now and press, and you flare up, you get angry. Maybe your own is you don't like the room to be disorganized. You don't like disorder. Or maybe yours is you don't like people talking out very loud. You just have all these small things that you don't like that triggers you whenever someone behaves like that in front of you. It's fantastic. You did not design it in you, but you can retake control of them. You can take control of them, that they don't control you. And then the second part is your languages, your love languages. Most people don't know what this is, but anybody, listen to this. I'm going to share a secret with you. Anybody that understands what your love language is can literally control you, can literally manipulate you. So if I know that your love language is gift, I'm going to buy you a lot of gift. When I come back to make a request, it will be difficult for you to say no. Because why? I've bought your heart with your language. I'm already speaking your language. So at the end of the day, when I come back and say, can you do this for me? Even though it's not convenient for you, you are going to operate with a reciprocity bias, because I've activated something that would make you to be unable to say no. We've had instances where a lady, because she has gotten a lot of gift from a guy, so she brings her guard down unless this guy sleeps with her, because she cannot bring herself to say no to this guy. And so when the guy asks that, okay, let's make out, she's going to be thinking, after everything he has done for me, I'm going to say no, I can't say no to him. So even though she doesn't want to do it, she's compelled to do it, because this person has spoken a language. So at the end of the day, you are no longer in control of your decisions, but someone else is in control of your decision because they understand you better than you understand yourself. For some people, it's quality time, and that is why they fall in and out of love. Any person that gives them the attention they deserve, they seek, automatically becomes the love of their life. So they move around. And that's why when they're in school, they have a guy that is very close to them, spending time with them, automatically they fall in love. They get to camp, they have another guy who now starts spending time with them because the other one is now out of reach. This one is spending time with them, they start developing feelings. They move out of camp after 3 weeks. They get to their workplace. There's this other fine dude there that starts giving them attention, giving them time. They're spending so much time with this person. Before you know it, they start developing feelings. It's not because there's anything wrong with you. It's just because you don't have control. There's a scripture that says that a man that has no self-control is like a city without walls. And if you understand the time where this scripture was written, you would understand what that illustration means. A city without walls at that time is a city that there's no defense. When you don't have control over these things that drive your decisions, you don't have a defense for yourself. a man, a woman without self-control. If you know that scripture, put it in the comments. So I will highlight it for those that doesn't know it. So they know I'm actually accurate. If you know that scripture, a man, a woman without self-control is like a city without walls. It's like a city without walls. You need to learn what the things that get you to make certain decisions are. So that it's not every jack that comes around you start developing feelings for. So in 1 year, you have had crush on 7 people. 1 year. Why? Because they spend time with you. Or maybe your own is gift. Maybe they bought you gift. This one starts buying you gift. You become biased. Allow them to do what they want to do. This one starts buying. The other one starts buying. You move to that one. So what are your love languages? There's a book I can recommend for you for that. It's called The 5 Love Languages. You should read that book. It will help you to understand what yours are and how to consciously take control of them so that nobody becomes the master of your life. Look at this. Proverbs. Thank you so much, Tabitha. It says, a man without self-control is like a city broken into. Hey, this one is, they will not even break inside. They are broken inside and left without walls. You have to learn these things. I don't think we're going to be able to finish all the. Should I go on? This is already after 9, 14 minutes. All right. I'm just going to take one. I'm going to take one, and then we're going to wrap it up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to go, but I'm just going to take one. I'm going to take just one, and we're going to get it out there. We're going to get off the score. I'm just going to take one. All right. Thank you so much, Joshua. He said, he that had no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. Joy says, please go on, sir. No, we can't go on, Joy. You don't want my people to come back again? We can't go on. We're gonna wrap this up. There's not going to be a part 2 of this, so that's why I'm just going to take one. We're going to call it a night. Next week we're going to be having a different masterclass entirely, but I'm just going to take one. I'm just going to take one. Yes, I'm just going to take one. I'm just going to take one, and then we'll call it a night. Chine, no, we can't go on. We can't go on. I'm just going to take one. Take one. We call it night. And what is the number one thing that's now I have? Let me mention the ones I have so that you can pick the one I should talk on. I have developing a resistant mind. Listen, I have developing a resistant mind. I have unlocking your genius. How to? I have embracing your uniqueness. I have overcoming your biases. I have unlocking your hidden strengths, discovering your unfair advantage. I have Ikegai. I don't know which one I should pick now. These are all important lessons that you should get this replay. This replay is going to be available. I don't know how much for community members, but it's not going to be free. No, it's not going to be free. Developing a resistant mind. Tabitha said we should talk about developing a resistant mind. Do you guys agree? I'll talk about this 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and then we go on. She said developing a a resistant mind. Remember, I said I have 6. Number 1 is developing a resistant mind, unlocking your genius, embracing your uniqueness, overcoming your biases. There are over 23 known biases that controls people's decision. I wish I can talk about this, but this is total. Oh, if we get into this, we won't close from this. Overcoming your biases, unlocking your hidden strength, discovering your unfair advantage. Okay, Tabitha said we should talk about developing a resistant mind. Okay, we're going to talk about developing a resistant mind to unlock your personal genius. How do you do this? How do you develop a resistant mind to unlock your genius? How do you do this? I'm going to talk about this briefly. Now, there's one fascinating story in the scripture that I love so much. And it's the story of David. And not the story of David overcoming Goliath or, no, it was a very important lesson that happened before he went to fight Goliath. It happened between him and his brother. The Bible says that he got into the field and his brothers, they started saying that, why are you here? You have come to show yourself, Abi. Because obviously he's someone who is always forward, right? If not, they wouldn't say that. So he comes and says, oh, you've come to show yourself, Abi. Why are you not with the sheep? And then David responded and said, is there not a cause? Is there not a reason? Because David had an understanding that would not allow him to be pushed back. And the reason this lesson is important is because we live in a world that is highly distracted. One of the assets you can have, or one of the unfair advantage you can have as a person, is your ability to focus. Your ability to focus. Because we live in a highly distracted world. Why do you think the highest watched videos on YouTube are comedies? Yes. Why? People just want to laugh. Is the reason if I was a comedian this night, we would have hundreds of people here listening, laughing, jumping up and down, because the thing is funny. But in order to accomplish the things you want to accomplish, your desires in life, you must have a resistant mind that will not allow distractions to penetrate. Distractions of what is happening, trend, so it is no grief for anybody, so you start behaving very unprofessional. Say, oh, this is trending. That's where you put your attention to. And as a content creator, that's where you put all your attention to. You must become, there's a word my mentor calls it. Hold on, I want to find that word. I want to find that word. Hold on. I want to find, there's a word. Please just hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to get the right. Oh, I don't remember these words. I would, when I find the word, I would put it. I didn't prepare for this, but when I find the word, I'll put it in the community. Please join the community, and you'd get all of that. But you must become a person that does not allow the things that happen around you to shape what happens inside of you. The distractions around you, you don't allow it to affect, because the moment you allow the things that happen around you to shape what happens inside of you, it is going to affect the result. It is going to affect your creativity. It is going to affect the result that you would have as a person. So you must learn how to become resistant to the things happening around you, resistant to pressure. So everybody's doing this thing. Oh, you want to go do that thing. Everybody's going this way. Oh, you want to go that way. Everybody's jumping up and down. Oh, you want to jump that. Everybody. Oh, now it's this kind of thing. Content category is reading this. I have to do this. I have to do you. So you want to. So because of that, you leave your uniqueness in order to pursue every idea. Listen, there's no idea that everybody sits down and say, oh, let's do this. No. Every idea has an originator. And these ideas or these behaviors or this trend, whatever you might call them, is tied to the personality of that person. So a certain kind of dance comes up. Why did the person do the dance? But at the end of the day, you jump on it. So you carry that energy, distract yourself, try to copy that person's uniqueness. At the end of the day, you lose every. And the amazing thing about copying people's uniqueness is you can't copy people perfectly. So in the process of trying to copy a person's uniqueness, you lose your own uniqueness. Meanwhile, you cannot perfectly copy the person's uniqueness. So at the end of the day, you have a watered down uniqueness that is neither yours nor theirs. So you must learn how to be resistant to the things that are happening around you. You must be the initiator of your own change. You must be the initiator of your own ideas. You must be the initiator of your own results, your own principles, the things that govern your life, the things that drive your life. You must do all of that. And then finally, Chinaya says, talk about unfair advantage. I'm just going to mention a couple of things. Number one is the greatest unfair advantage that you have is the current information you have. I was amazed to learn that there are people in this present world who do not know. It's not that I'm trying to bully anybody or try. There are people in this present world that use WhatsApp that don't know that you can actually send a file on WhatsApp as document. I saw it a couple of days ago. Someone was sharing on his status. He said, oh, they were telling him, thank you so much for teaching us how to share files as documents on WhatsApp. And I was like, yeah, there are people like that. And it's not because of them. Most times, you think that what you know is common to everybody, but your truth, your reality is not a common truth. It's not a common reality. So your greatest advantage in life is a combination of your uniqueness, which is why you need to take that personality test to understand your uniqueness. An understanding of your uniqueness, your experience, the information you have, which is your knowledge, and your ability to uniquely use these factors for your advantage. So you know how to use the Excel so well. What's stopping you from creating a channel where you teach people how to manipulate common Excel calculations and manipulations. What is stopping you from exporting the things that you know, the skill that you know, the capacities you have? What is stopping you? Because it is in pursuing, this is the last thing I'm going to say, uniqueness, that you activate and accelerate your personal genius. If I never started hosting webinars, I would never know that you can use this platform. That you see how fine the webinar is not looking like the regular view of most people that do YouTube live, right? We could have had this on WhatsApp. We could have had this on Telegram community where we have over 600 people. We could have had this on Facebook. We could have had it anywhere. We brought it on YouTube. We're able to customize it like this. It's looking all fine, looking all beautiful. You can put comments. You can see me. You see Masterverse logo. You can see how to follow Masterverse. You can see comments being shown and everything. If I never started hosting the first webinar that I had, which was actually terrible, and I think about 2 people showed up. If I never did that, I would never be able to get to this stage where I'm able to unlock this personal genius. So your uniqueness, your experience, the information you have, your ability to connect all of these things to form a future, to form the representation of your future would help you in activating your personal genius. Maybe what you know is something you should put in a book. But you are thinking, what would people say? Will it sell? What if it sells? What if you write the first book and it's trash? You read it, you say, no. You write another one. And that one becomes more beautiful. You would never get the second one that becomes more beautiful if you never wrote the first one that is trash. It's just a principle of life. So you must learn how to do all of this. With these few points of mine, 9 o'clock on the dot, like I promised, I hope I've been able to. Guys, hope you got value from this. Please, I just want you to take a screenshot, post it on your story, tag Gift BestJnr, tag Masterverse. We're going to repost. We want people to know that we actually held this class. But hope you had a fantastic session today. Just let me know in the comments. Any questions? I'm going to be taking questions. If you have any questions, I'm going to take questions now, so we can call it a night. If you have questions, I'm going to take questions now. If you have questions in the comments. Yes, you said Chineye said she learned a lot. Chineye, thank you so much. We hope that in the next webinar, you would invite people to come learn a lot too. And you would share this on your story on Instagram and tag Masterverse, Gift BestJnr, and any questions? 2 minutes. Any questions before I call it a night? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Unlocking your personal genius and maximizing your potentials. Any questions? Hope you learned something. Any questions? Any questions? Let me know in the comments. Joy says she truly learned so much. Yes. We never overpromise. We give, we deliver what we promise. And I promise you're going to learn a lot. And I'm glad you learned a lot. Thank you so much. Okay, all right, no questions. Thank you so much, guys, for now. If you have any questions after we've ended this, you can put it in the Telegram group, and I would attend to them. I would unlock the group after this, so you can put what you got there, questions there, and then we'll be able to answer them. Joy says, okay, not Joy, Chineye. Chineye says, how do you export your skill? And then the second one says, how does one's temperament affect their career choices? Yes. If you're an introvert, what is the introvert temperament again? Melancholy. Yes, melancholy and phlegmatic. You would naturally not want to choose a career choice that allows you to appear in public, that allows you to be public. Naturally, you would not want to, because you would want to remain silent. You don't want people to disturb you. You don't want a situation where you have to stay and present to people. You don't want, so naturally the introvert, the phlegmatic, the melancholy will not naturally want to become a public speaker. Naturally, except they have been able to to um to amplify their temperament to be able to express and explore other expressions of what they can do. For instance, like myself, I was not originally someone who could talk to people a lot, but I had to learn. I had to learn because I knew that my future, the kind of life I wanted to live, was tied to communicating with people, to people. So I needed to learn how to speak with people. And it came as a function of constantly doing it. So you need to know that it will affect it. It will affect it. So if you're someone who is not outspoken, you would want to go for careers that does not project you to the limelight. If you're someone who is very outspoken, you would want to go for those careers that actually. Why do you think that most people who go for theater act, most of them, if you check it, most of them have a temperament that allows them to be really outspoken, to be really to really talk. So that affects your career choices. Yes, Chinoye says, how can we export skills? How do you export your skill? What you know, teach it. What you know, teach it. When they said that when you teach people what you know, you learn twice. What you know, teach it. When you begin to teach what you know, you are exporting yours. You might not start out exporting it premiumly. You can start out exporting it freemiumly to build your own community, to build your own audience, to build a following. And then when you begin to export all of these things, it gets to a point where you are able to even monetize your skill. So what you know, teach it. Use it for other people. What you do for yourself, do it for other people. So you're someone that you can create a Google form for yourself. There are people that can't create a Google form. Create it for them. You are already exporting what you can do. There are people that can't open a website, a simple landing page, but you can create a landing page. Create it for them. There are people who can't write, but they have ideas. Write for them. So what you know, teach people, do it for other people. And you have to start from a place, and then before you can go on to talking about monetizing your skill. Thank you guys so much. I hope you've learned a lot. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. This is the Masterverse. This is not my YouTube channel. This is Masterverse YouTube channel, where we're going to be hosting all of our webinars. So please click the subscribe button. And if you're not part of the community, please join the community. That's where I'm going to drop the link to the temperament test, to the personality test, and then all the books that I mentioned, I'm going to drop them in the group after this conversation. So make sure you are there in the group, and I'll see you guys next week. Until then, there's something my mentor used to say, that use what you have, for what you have is plenty. Use what you have, for what you have is plenty. Thank you guys so much for having me tonight. Don't forget to share lessons from this webinar on your story and tag Masterverse, tag Gift BestJnr. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to join our community, and don't forget to always invite people when we have our webinars.